Rube, you know what I have in my hand right here?
What do you have?
This is the Philadelphia Eagles 2026 schedule. It's real.
It is real, and it was real a little bit earlier than we expected it to be real.
It was. This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. Reuben, Frank, and Dave Zangaro. Rube, this is one of the most fun days of the year because we've talked about this. This is where the 2026 season is real. Before this, it's just like a thought about who they're going to play. But now that you see it and you see week 1 against the Commanders, week 2 at Tennessee, you start to see all the games on the schedule, it becomes real.
Yeah, it's kind of the first day where next year takes shape. Like, we haven't seen the full team on the field or anything like that yet. Just some rookies, but this is the first time you actually feel closer to next year than last year. It's like we now have a season to kind of pick apart and project, and it's all right here on that sheet of paper in your hand.
It's pretty exciting. So we're going to go through week by week a little bit later, but any like big takeaways looking at this schedule for the first time?
Yeah, I don't think it's a great schedule. I know their strength of schedule is pretty good, but 2 holiday games is not ideal. Maybe players don't care. I don't know. I don't think they want to be away from home. Certainly on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve game is not ideal. A London game that's not followed by a bye week is not ideal. Facing 4 teams that are coming off byes, 3 of them in a 4-week span is not ideal. So, there's a lot of things. And then you have the Rams, Jags, and Panthers, or I'm sorry, the Jaguars, the Bears, Rams, and Jaguars, in a 3-week span pretty early. That's a pretty formidable stretch right there. I don't think the league did them any favors, but that's the way it always is.
Yeah, in general, I agree with you. Like, there are some disadvantages of this schedule, but a big advantage is for a first-place team, no matter how you want to look at it, whether it's strength of schedule from last year or projections from this year, it is an easy schedule based on their opponents. And, that is ultimately what I think matters more. Like, the scheduling part of this is a little tough at times, but ultimately, I think that matters more. Is like the teams that they're playing are very beatable, and even you look at like the first place games, I think they kind of lucked out. So I looked at this. They in the NFC North, they get the Bears as the first place finisher. Dallas gets the Packers. Who would you rather face?
Bears.
And then in the AFC or NFC South, Eagles get the Panthers. Dallas get the Buccaneers.
Take the Panthers.
And then in the AFC North, the Eagles get the Steelers and Dallas gets the Ravens.
I mean, Steelers are pretty good. I think the interesting thing to me is there's like 2 bunches of what appears to be really challenging games. So you have the Bears, Rams, and Jaguars week 3 through 5, and then you have Seahawks, Texans, Niners week 15, 16, 17. Bears, Rams, and Jags were combined 36 and 15 last year. Seahawks, Texans, and Niners were 38 and 13. But in between those 2 clumps of games, you go 9 weeks only playing 1 team with a winning record last year. That was the Steelers. And you're facing 8 teams that were combined 56, 77, and 3. Hard to believe they're playing 3 teams that had ties last year. But they are. Well, one of them is the Cowboys. They count that twice because they're playing them twice in that stretch. But so I think they have a chance to really middle of the season win some games. And you're looking at, and I think the Cowboys are going to be better than last year, but I still don't think they're a great team. Commanders and Giants got a little bit better, but they're losing teams. And you have the Colts are coming off a 7-9-1 season. Cowboys coming off a 7-9-1 season. The Cards beatable. So you have a chance to, if you're sitting there at maybe 3-2 after 5 games, I think you have a chance to get healthy going into that second really tough stretch in Seattle, Texans, and the Niners, which is, you have the Giants the last day of the season, but those 3 games down the stretch, that's a really tough, you're going to be fighting for playoff position there most likely. And you got Seahawks, Texans, and Niners back to back to back. Texans on a short week on a Thursday night. That's a tough stretch.
Yeah, there are some tough stretches. There are some easier ones as well.
And Niners on a Sunday night.
Yeah. This is a good point here. They played, it feels like every day of the week, and this has become a thing. And this is kind of the other part of the schedule that we didn't bring up. It's just odd. It's kind of an oddity of a schedule. And we saw this last year a little bit too, just that there are so many, they play every other night of the week, it feels like. And players like to get into a rhythm. And when you're playing all these different days, that can be tough to do.
Yeah, not a lot of stretches where you play a bunch of Sunday games in a row. And Joe Webb wants to know why there's no Tuesday game. We're not going to get into that, but yeah, it's a choppy schedule from that standpoint, with international game, Sunday night game, Monday night game, 5 primetime games, a Thursday night game, a Thanksgiving game, a Christmas Eve game, a Saturday game. And I think one thing Nick is really good at is preparing his team for those kind of eventualities. When you're really good, it happens. You're going to get these games. They played an international game a couple of years ago. They get 5 primetime games every year. They get a lot of Monday night games, a lot of short weeks. So they're used to it. And Nick always has a plan, a pretty good plan to deal with it. So, but it's certainly not easy.
You mentioned the 5 primetime games. That's, I believe, the most that can be scheduled now. We'll see what happens. Games can get flexed later in the season, but they are third in the NFL in primetime games since 2000. They've had 114. So this is not a new thing. They've had the most Monday night games of any team in the league in that span, 44. So this is kind of par for the course. But this year, in addition to the 5 primetime games, they end up with 8, we'll call them standalone games, national audience games, because you have the London game, you have Christmas Eve, and you have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's half the season. And and those are the kind of games that really do take you out of that rhythm you mentioned. You'd love to play them all at 1:00 on Sunday, but they don't have any back-to-back 1:00 games, I believe.
Yeah, there aren't many 1:00 on here.
I like 1:00 games. What do we have, 4 of them?
Yeah, there aren't many. I mean, that last Giants game could end up being, well, it'd probably be a later window game if it matters. But yeah, not a lot of 1:00. And look, I love the 1:00. I know a lot of fans love the 1:00. But hey, if you're a fan and you're sitting there thinking, man, I miss those games, remember, the teams that stink get all the 1:00 games. I saw the Tennessee Titans have 0 primetime games.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is the price you pay when you're really good every year. You go to the playoffs 5 years in a row. You've been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. They're going to be good. It's a team that I think has a real national profile because of the Super Bowls. I think the AJ drama only adds to that. I mean, they're not getting scheduled all these games because of the AJ situation, but it's a team that everybody is always talking about.
Yeah, they're always in the cultural zeitgeist.
Wow, that's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the band Zeitgeist from Austin?
I don't.
They became the Reavers. They changed their name.
That's probably a good idea.
And they did a tour with Flight of Mavis from Philly. Toured the country. But anyway, the culture, would you call it the cultural zeitgeist?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that.
You can steal it.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. We got a lot of weird stuff rolling around up here.
But yeah, it's going to be like this every year. As long as they're good, they get high ratings. So, networks want them as a standalone game to get big ratings, and they will. We're going to have a lot of very early and very late pre-games and post-games.
Yeah, and a lot of middle-of-the-night podcasts.
5 of them.
Coming at some point.
Least.
Yeah, that Week 10 bye, it's interesting because
I love the comments.
Yeah, the Week 10 bye it's a good time for the bye. Now, what do you make of it not being after the London game?
I think that's tough. That'll be tough for you. Yeah, fly back.
Yeah, I don't have to play a football game in a few days after that.
No. But
did you see the Eagles schedule release video?
I did not have a chance to look at it.
Saquon it was funny because they're going through. It was a good idea. So it was Jalen Hurts, Jahad Campbell, Jordan Davis, um, Jordan Mailata, and Saquon at a table, and Jalen Hurts. I mentioned Hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, he's at the head of the table, and they all go around
as he should be
with the envelopes, like opening up week 1, week 2, week 3, and they didn't think anything of it when they had a game after the London one. But then they got to the week 10 bye, and Saquon was like, "Wait a second, that's not. We don't have the bye after London." So look, I think teams are generally like consulted on this. Like, hey, do you want the bye that early after the London game? My guess, and I don't know this for sure, that the Eagles maybe wanted it a little bit later.
Could be. Week 6 would have been early. I mean, they had week 5 a couple years ago. I think teams do the London trip differently than they used to. They used to go over for the week, and you'd practice there all week. They go at the last possible moment, maybe have one walkthrough over there, and just kind of minimize the time you're away from home so they can be in the Jefferson Health Training Complex up through maybe Thursday and then head over. So I think that kind of minimizes how much it upset. But any way you look at it, it's a long flight. It's a long time to be on an airplane. You're going to get dehydrated. I'm sure they'll measure the guys' hydration levels on the flight. It's good that you have the Panthers coming off London.
Well, Panthers won the division last year.
Yeah, at 8-9.
Yeah, but it's not a
it's not a layup, but
yeah.
You'd rather have them than the Niners or Rams.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to talk about before we get into the week by week, I kind of joked about this with you earlier, but man, I know some Eagles fans like to watch games by themselves or with a certain group of people. This is a tough schedule for that. You've got Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. We all have annoying relatives, right?
Yeah.
They're especially annoying to watch sporting events with. That could be a tough draw for some fans. What do you recommend a fan to do? So you're at Thanksgiving and Uncle George
Uncle Wally,
whatever, is telling them to run the ball every play.
Uncle Barrett,
tell them to run the ball every play, and they're having good success through the air. What do? You can't leave, right?
No, I mean, there's always the upstairs TV option. You kind of sneak upstairs.
Oh, sneak upstairs, like the room, maybe the bedroom that's not being used.
Yeah.
Maybe the coats are on a bed. You use the TV in that room.
Yeah, I think that's an option. You could just ghost Thanksgiving, just get out of there.
Can't do that. That's a tough one.
Can't do that. I think the upstairs TV might be the best option.
Yeah. And also a tough one for like,
if you have to, you go out to the car. And
there's going to be some husbands who are like, honey, did you see the schedule? We're going to have some tough conversations.
Well, we touched on this the other day. So Thanksgiving game is 4:30. Is that right?
Yeah.
You do dinner at 2. How do you do it? You do dinner.
I'd go early dinner.
Just get dinner over with. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you can have some dessert while the game's kicking off. I think that's okay. You don't want to eat the whole meal while the game's going on, but
yeah, because then you're going to want to bring your turkey and stuffing and gravy into the living room or family room, and the wife's going to be like, if you get any gravy on the couch, you're paying to get that cleaned up.
I love that.
So yeah, but that's a tough call. You guys, I mean, the game's gonna be over 7:30. You don't want to just start dinner at 7:30.
That's too late for that meal.
For a big heavy meal. Yeah.
All right, you want to get into the schedule week by week here?
Honey, come on in. We're opening gifts. Leave me alone. It's
pretty
much. It's 3rd and 1.
Yeah. The Eagles have the possibility to ruin 2 holidays for you this
incredible.
year. That's scary, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
All right, so week 1, and I do like this. The Eagles hosting week 1 against the Commanders, 4:25 kickoff on Fox. I like this because last year they backloaded those Commanders-Eagles games. And when we saw it on the schedule last year, we're like, this is not going to end well. Those games aren't going to matter. And sure enough, it didn't matter. Jaden Daniels was out. So I like this. I like that we're getting one of these early.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels might be hurt by opening day. We'll see what happens, but obviously a talented kid. Yeah, I think it's a manageable opener. I don't mind Washington as the opener. Washington at home, you feel like you have a pretty good chance to be 1-0.
Yeah, I like that. No, I think Washington could have a little bit of a bounce back year,
Yeah, I would
depending
expect
on
that.
if Jaden Daniels stays healthy. I think that's obviously a really big key to this. But I don't know. They had a decent offseason. They had a good draft. They get Sonny Styles, which like I think he's going to step in and be really good from day one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Last time Jaden Daniels faced the Eagles when he was healthy, they beat him by what 51-27 or whatever. I guess he put up 27, so there's that. But yeah, I still don't think they're a great team. I do think they're better. I think maybe a 500 team, or
Any chance they
can't
could
be a 500
compete in the division this year? Do you think?
8-1. I mean, they were a 12-win team 2 years ago, so I guess it's possible. I still think Dallas and the Eagles are the best teams in the NFC East.
Yeah.
And I think there's a pretty big gap between them and the other two.
I think that's probably fair. It'll be fun though. Week 1, getting a chance to see the Eagles offense for the first time. To me, that's what I'm excited about. We'll see it in training camp, but the rest of the NFL is going to see it in week 1.
Yeah, we'll see it in training camp, but I have a feeling what we see on opening day is going to be a lot different than what they show us at practice. I mean, they're going to have to do some of that, but
I don't think it's going to be that. You got to practice what you're doing.
yeah, I mean, we'll see some of it, but yeah.
Okay. Want to move on to week 2?
Yeah.
Week 2, Eagles on the road going to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans, a 1 p.m. game on Fox.
Yeah, and so you have a chance, I think a pretty good chance to be 2-0. Go down there, coming off a win over the Commanders. That's not a very good team. It's going to get tough after that, but the first 2 weeks, I think you have a good chance to get off to a good start.
Yeah, I think so. And that look, crazy things happen. The Eagles have not been good in Tennessee, but obviously not much carryover from like 10 years ago to now.
Yeah, they've lost their last 3 in Nashville. They've actually never won there. Last time they beat that franchise on the road was at the Astrodome, 1991, the House of Pain game, 13-6, Monday night game. All the phones in the press box went out as soon as the game ended. All the power went out.
Oh, wow.
I had to take my acoustic couplers, go into the hallway, into the concourse where everyone was leaving, and dial in to the paper with a payphone. Put my acoustic couplers on a payphone. This is what we had to do.
What's an acoustic
Acoustic couplers were these like rubber things that fit over a phone. So there were 2 like round plugs that you just kind of they gripped onto the receiver. Before there were cell phones, there were actually telephones that had
that I know,
like this. So they would go, one would go here and one would go here.
For what purpose?
So you would dial into a modem and it would transmit the story over the payphone. So like if you had to cover like a high school tournament game at Wequahic and there was no way to follow your story, you'd go to like McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts and use the acoustic couplers like on a payphone and get your story in that way. So that's what I had to do in that 1991 game, the last time the Eagles won on the road against the Oilers/Titans franchise.
Acoustic Coupler, good band name?
They've just broke up.
Okay. Yeah, so the Titans not a great team, but they might have their quarterback in Cam Ward, so whatever. Nashville. What do you think about Nashville? Where we've talked about some of the road trips this year. This is a good one. I think a lot of Eagles fans are going to go to Nashville for this one. Take over Broadway. What should people do in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Have you ever been down there?
I have not been to the Country Music Hall of Fame. I've been to Nashville.
So it's like 2-minute walk from downtown, like at most 2 or 3 minutes. It's really cool because it's like when you think of country, you think of like bro country, like the country music that's really popular now. But it really celebrates the history of country music, roots music, bluegrass, mountain music, blues, up through like, Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton and that kind of stuff. So it's really like an authentic country music Hall of Fame. And even if you think you don't like country because what you hear on the radio, it's really different than that. Like Elvis, they had an Uncle Tupelo exhibit when I was there.
Okay.
So outlaw country, that kind of stuff.
I would go. Maybe I'll check it out this year.
Yeah.
Okay. A few years ago, you and I went to the Hermitage.
Yeah.
And I got a very funny photo of you with your head. They had like a giant $20 bill with Andrew Jackson's head cut out, and you stuck your head through. That was my favorite thing I've done in Nashville.
Yeah, that was a fun day. I just remember we were in the gift shop at the end of the day, and I was just saying, man, there's no Eagles fans here. And just then, like these two guys from Philly found us.
All right, you want to go to?
It's a great city to visit.
Yeah, I do love Nashville, and yeah, it's fun. Okay, week 3. This is a fun one too. Going to Chicago, the Bears, 8:15 Monday Night Football on ESPN. This is a very selfish thing, Rube. I'm happy the Chicago trip is in September. We had that December one a few years ago, and it might have been as cold as I've ever been in my life.
I remember that playoff game in 2001, just before they started. Actually, they were actually renovating the stadium as we left. They had already started. I remember walking out to this remote parking lot, and it was like 5 degrees. I've never been so cold. That city can get unbearable. But nice early game. Week 3 in Chicago shouldn't be too bad.
What do you make of the Bears this year? Do you think they're going to continue to have the success? We talked about it a little bit earlier. I think I'd rather face the Bears than the Packers, but Chicago's really good last year. They won 11 games at division. They ran all over the Eagles in that game last year.
281 yards.
Yeah, that was really like the worst run defense game we've seen with Vic Fangio here. And then Caleb Williams, another year in that Ben Johnson offense. I think there's some danger in that.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a good team. I don't know how good, but I think I'd rather play the Bears than the Packers. But the Bears are they're going to win their 10 or 11 games, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles have won 8 of their last 10 at Soldier Field. And their last 3. The last quarterback to beat them in Soldier Field was Jay Cutler in 2010. But yeah, that's their first game that you're like, all right, this is a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And on the road is always a little tougher, even though this team is a very good road team.
Best in the league since Nick got here.
Yeah, that's still a tough matchup.
Yeah.
All right, week 4, they come home and they face the Los Angeles Rams, 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. I was talking to Mike Mulhern a little bit before this earlier, our Birds Huddle producer, and I can't believe that this is another 1 o'clock game against the Rams. I don't understand for the second year in a row why this is not a nationally televised game.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I think the Rams, Eagles have had really good success over them. They're actually 10-1 in their last 11 games against the Rams, but man, they scare me. They're really good. They're well coached.
I think this is the best team on the Eagles schedule.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's. I don't think I would agree with that. I mean, I think Seattle's right there with them, but
I think it's the best team, and I think it's the best quarterback they're going to face all year.
I mean, Dak always plays great against them, but yeah, he's really, really good.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, and look, I'm not saying I'd start a team with him right now.
Well,
he's a little long in the tooth, but I think he's still playing at such a high level. That's a really good thing. But you're right, the Eagles they've beaten them. It's just taken some heroics in the last couple of games to do it.
By Georgia interior linemen in both cases.
Yeah, you think about that playoff game a couple years ago. That was as close as the Eagles came to losing in those playoffs. It took Jalen Carter just taking over on 2 consecutive plays. And then last year, obviously, the Jordan Davis blocked field goal in week 3. They were about to lose that game.
That pressure on going back to 24, that pressure he got on, I guess it was on 3rd down and the sack.
And then 4th down, yeah.
But 4th down, he pressured. 3rd down, he got the sack. I mean, he got in there so quickly. I mean, that's the player he can be. That's the player. I mean, if he could be that player every week, you're talking about first-team All-Pro.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Still a very good team. Interested to see what happens with Puka Nacua in that situation because he's obviously one of their best players. But yeah. I think this is one of those teams where they're balanced too. They have offensive talent. They have defensive talent. That defensive line is excellent. It kind of reminds me of like how the Eagles, Fletcher Cox retired, but a couple years later, they just have like this incredible line. Like Aaron Donald retired, and you look at that defensive line, it's still really, really good.
It is. And they come at you in waves.
Mm-hmm. I think Jared Verse is one day going to be an Eagle. He's just such an Eagle type player.
Interesting. That's a bold prediction right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now maybe he ends up just playing his whole career with Los Angeles, but I think he likes it here. I loved how much he relished being that villain role.
He played it up.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a mutual respect there between him and the city. I think he'd be really fun to play here.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. Maybe by week 4 he'll be here.
I doubt that. All right. Week 5. We're heading across the pond. This is the one we knew about, of course, playing the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. This is a tough game. You know, if the Eagles beat the Jags in London back in 2018, this is a different Jaguars team.
Yeah, they're really good. 13-win team last year.
And they won 8 in a row going into the playoffs. They were really hot. Once they figured it out, they were good. It was really, honestly, once they got Jacoby Myers, it's funny that he was like the catalyst to it all, but it seems like once they got him, that offense really came alive.
And that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So the Eagles played preseason games in London in 89 and 91. They were both at Wembley. And then obviously the 2018 game was at Wembley. You're going to be at the new stadium. And we drove by it in our bus. We had a tour bus that was taking us to practice at some rugby pitch. And we had a chance to see that place. It's really cool looking. I think you're going to love that place. Can't wait to hear about it. And we'll have a Eagles pregame live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time.
That's kind of fun.
We will be.
I know that some fans are annoyed that they're playing an overseas game, but that part of it to me is fun. You get to wake up. I bet all the bars in the city are going to open at like 5 a.m. that day. Pregame live is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited for the trip. I've never been to London.
Yeah, you were saying that surprises me.
Yeah,
I actually have a subway card I'm going to give you. It still has like
you left it over there. You lost it.
No, I have it.
Of course you have that.
I just had some.
You don't have your ID.
I do actually right now. But it has like $12 on it, so
I'll take it.
You're going to love it over there.
I'm excited. And look, I think this Jaguars team is really good. We were talking about this on Birds Huddle the other day. I don't know if it was a show you were on, but the AFC South, it's not a pushover division anymore. For a lot of the last couple of decades, it kind of has been at times, but not anymore. I mean, you have, and the Eagles have all 4 of those teams. The Jags were really good last year. The Texans were really good, and they still have a really strong defense. The Colts were really hot until they lost their quarterback, and then the Titans. But like 3 of those 4 teams, I think are going to at least make a playoff push this year.
Yeah, it's definitely improved, and it's deeper than it has been. I'm going to just change the subject real quick. 2 years ago, you went to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to London. I think you're going to find the logistics a lot better in London.
Yeah, you know, in Brazil, as much as I enjoyed that trip, we were a little bit of guinea pigs. It was the NFL's first game in South America, and gosh, the traffic was bad. And like the logistics were just tough. I enjoyed the heck out of that experience, but I spent a lot of my time in vehicles and traffic.
I mean, the traffic's no bargain in London. I remember we were so late coming back on our tour bus, stuck in traffic, and Tim McManus, our friend and colleague, had to do a live hit, and he wasn't going to get back to the hotel in time. He actually jumped out of the bus in the middle of London. We were like 10 blocks from the hotel, and he just set up his camera and his phone and did his live hit.
Oh, really? That's funny. I didn't know that, because in Brazil, when we were going to the game, I had a radio hit, and I thought we'd be there in plenty of time. I had to do the radio hit in the back of the bus, like apologizing to everyone else for doing a radio hit in front of them. And then I barely made my TV hit on the field.
Yeah, well, you're going to enjoy that trip. And
I don't think I'm going alone. I think a lot of these fans out here are going to be headed to London.
Yeah, I had to do the obligatory Eagles fans in London story when I was over there. I just went to the I think it was Victoria Park, and just walked around and just found like 100 Eagles fans.
I don't think they're going to be hard to find.
Yeah.
All right, week 6, the Eagles come home, no bye week. They're going to host the Carolina Panthers 1 p.m. on CBS. And by the way, the Panthers coming off a bye week. So not only do the Eagles have to jump back across the pond, but they're going to play a 2025 playoff team on extended rest.
Yeah, and that just doesn't seem fair. And they're not a great team, but they're a decent team. And that just shouldn't be the case. I mean, the combination of coming back from an international game and facing a team, at least you're at home, but facing a team coming off a bye, I think that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, this is the first game of 3 in a 4-week span where the Eagles play a team coming off a bye week. Those are one of the things we always look for in terms of the imbalances, and that doesn't seem great.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Panthers?
They're okay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they're a special team, but they're competitive.
They have special teams. Yeah, I didn't love it. I don't think they're the best team in that division. Are you shunning me after that joke?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
We're not on speaking terms right
now. I wonder if that was the case. The Panthers last year, they had a really late bye week, week 14. After that, they lost 3 of their last 4 going into the playoffs, and then had a tough game against the Rams. It was pretty close, 34-31, but ended up getting bounced out of the playoffs. I like Bryce.
Do you?
Yeah, Bryce. I don't think he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but I do like him. He showed me something last year.
Panthers are coming off their 8th consecutive losing season. Do you think they'll have a winning record this year? I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're going to be 7, 8, 9 wins, but I'm going to guess losing record again.
You're probably right about that. I haven't picked them to win the division, so yeah.
Okay.
Anything else on the Panthers?
No.
Okay, so that was week 6. Week 7, Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys on ESPN. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, 23rd time in 26 years, Eagles and Cowboys meet in primetime. I mean, it's an annual thing. The only times they haven't are 2 years ago, they actually didn't, 2003, 2006, over the last quarter century. So Eagles have won 4 straight at home against the Cowboys. I mean, I think if you had to circle 2 games on the schedule every year, it's going to be Eagles-Cowboys. I mean, those are the games that are going to determine the division winner. If anyone sweeps, they're going to win the division. If they split, then we'll see. But Eagles have started to play better against the Cowboys. They had a little stretch there where they weren't. A healthy Dak is still dangerous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that offense last year was tremendous.
I think they've improved their defense. They've got Christian Parker now.
I think that's going to be the key for them this year. Is I think the offense is still going to be high powered. They still have CeeDee Lamb and Pickens and Dak. I think Javonte Williams played well. So I think they're going to be good offensively. It's like, can the defense become a league average defense?
If they're average, they're going to be dangerous, but I'm not sure they're going to be at that point yet.
I don't know. They've made some additions. You have a full year of Quinnen Williams. Rashawn Gary is in the mix now. And Caleb Downs is, I think, going to step in and be really good from day one.
Yeah, I would think so. I'm curious to see what Christian Parker does in his first year as a defensive coordinator. He's a very good secondary coach. It's a big leap for him. I think he's a really sharp guy. I think the players will respect him and like him. Interested to see how much Vic Fangio we see in his defense.
Yeah, I heard CP doing an interview down there, and he said, "Hey, I don't want you to call it the Eagles' defense. I don't want to call it Vic Fangio's defense. It's my defense." And I saw some people kind of snarking at that, because hey, they hired him to run this defense, but he's a smart guy. It's dumb to try to shoehorn any kind of defense when it doesn't work.
Yeah, but by the same token, I mean, when you've been around Vic Fangio for 2 years, you're going to pick some things up, and I'm sure there's going to be a good chunk of Vic in what he's running.
I would think so. All right, week 8. No rest for the weary here at Washington. A rare night game in Washington. Sunday Night Football on NBC. They don't play night games in Washington.
No.
Do the lights work there?
No, this is it's unusual. It's an interesting series from 1934 through 1992. The Eagles were 44-67-6 against Washington. Since then, they're 43-24. So they were 23 games under 500 until Rich Kotite's second season, and they're 19 games over 500 since then. I find that interesting. They're 7-2 in their last 9 games at FedEx. When are they going to have that new stadium? Are they still a couple years away from that?
Yeah, I think so. And it's not FedEx anymore, is it?
Yeah, it is to me.
I can't believe somebody else was like, I want to put my name on that stadium.
What is it now?
I'll look it up. I forget what it is.
It'll always be FedEx to me.
Northwest Stadium.
Yeah, and that's not happening. FedEx Field. Thank you.
By the way, Commanders in this game coming off their bye week.
Yep.
Eagles coming off a Monday night game. So this is the other one where it's like, man, short rest and you're facing the team coming off the bye. That's not ideal.
No, not fair.
All right, week 9.
Just want a level playing field. That's all you ask for.
Yeah, and look, I understand it's really tough to come up with a schedule, but this doesn't seem great.
No.
This part of it, at least from a advantage-disadvantage standpoint. Week 9 at home against the Giants, 1 p.m. game. Nice 1 p.m. game before the bye week, but you got to win this one.
27-8 in their last 35 games against the Giants. They've won 12 straight at the Link over the Giants by an average of 11 points a game. The last home loss was in 2013 with Matt Barkley playing most of the game after Michael Vick got hurt. So they've had a couple notable losses up there, but at the Link, they've been very good against the Giants. Giants haven't swept the Eagles since 2007.
Wow. What do you think of the Giants this year? Harbaugh there. I know you're a fan of John Harbaugh. I think they'll be better. Do you think they'll be, how many wins are we talking for the Giants this year?
I think it'll take them a little while. I mean, Harbaugh's a great coach, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. Giants won 4 games last year. They got to figure out a way to keep Jackson Dart healthy.
That's the big thing. It's like they might have their quarterback, but can he play that way and stay healthy?
I just don't see how. I just don't see how he can play the way he did last year and get through a season. So,
and then did you see Malik Neighbors had to have a second clean out of that knee?
Is that right?
So a young player with a knee issue, like that scares you. I hope he's good for the long term because he's a fun player, but keeping an eye on that. I thought they had a good draft. Francis Maui-Noah, he's going to have to play guard early on, and then Arval Reese, obviously, who is probably going to have to play. We talked about this. This is like a weird draft for them because they got 2 really good players who might be not playing their long-term positions on day one.
Yeah, that's true. One of the guys commenting says, I don't know what I'm talking about. London's only 6 hours. Well, coming back, it's 7 hours. You're going into the headwinds. You got tailwinds going out there. So that's 7.5, 8 hours in the air. It's a lot. San Francisco's only 5. I understand that. It's still, you're talking about going to a different country and playing a football game. It's a lot. It's not easy. But anyway, we're talking about Giants. Yeah, I think they're going to be better. It's going to take Harbaugh a couple of years to get them to where they're, I think, a playoff contender. I don't think it's going to happen yet. I think it's a couple of years away.
Do you think the Giants realize that? Do you think it's like super long leash for Harbs?
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's going to get fired if they go 6-11.
Well, I don't mean this year, but how long do you think it is? Do they have to show improvement like year over year?
I mean, he's Harbs. He's got a few years. Yeah.
And they brought him in. He has personnel control, like that they're in for the long term.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. So that's week 9. Week 10 is the bye week. Not bad.
Where are you heading? You going hiking somewhere? You got any plans yet?
I don't know what we'll do for the bye week, but I know what we're going to do now. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll resume as we come back from the bye.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
We're back from the bye week. What do you think about the Week 10 bye? If you had your choice, you get the Week 10 or you get the game the week after London, which would you have chosen?
I think I would do the week after London. I mean, it's early, but it's week 6. It's not super early. I think I would probably do it then, but I don't think week 10 is a bad place for it. You're just right about halfway through the season.
Yeah, typically that's what players want. They want kind of a bye week that is sort of in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
All right. After the bye week, week 11, Pittsburgh Steelers, 4:25 kickoff on CBS. Who's the quarterback for this team going to be?
Kenny Pickett?
He's on a different team.
I mean, I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
But who knows? I think that's probably most likely. And I mean, he's still pretty good. He's not what he used to be, but he can't move at all. I mean, he never really could move, but he's still dangerous.
He could always move. Pretty good runner back in the day.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. It's such a weird thing because like it feels like that whole situation is kind of keeping that team in a stranglehold right now. Like, what do you do until? What if he doesn't come back?
Yeah, they like that kid, whose name I can't remember, but
they have Mason Rudolph probably is the backup right now.
Yeah, I think if this draft had any quarterbacks, like next year's draft, I think the Steelers take a quarterback, but there just wasn't anyone this year that made sense. I think they would have taken one, but it's a tough position. Maybe they go out and get a Tanner McKee.
Hey, there you go. I like the way you're thinking there. Pittsburgh won the division last year, 10-7. This is one of the ones I was talking about where I think your Eagles were better off getting the first place finisher as opposed to the second place finisher, the Ravens, who were 8-9. I might also take Pittsburgh over the third place finisher in that division, Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think Pittsburgh is a great team. Do you know that the Steelers have not won in Philadelphia in 60 years?
Is that right?
Their last win in Philadelphia was in 1965, and they won 20-14 despite just 132 net yards of offense. That game was at Franklin Field.
Wow. Okay.
60 years.
Week 12?
Yeah.
Week 12.
Here we go.
Eagles head back to Dallas. This is a Thursday game because it's Thanksgiving. We knew about this one already, but this is going to be a fun one.
It is. I mean, once you get past the fact that it's Thanksgiving and you're watching a football game. I mean, I watch football on Thanksgiving. I just don't want it to be the Eagles. But yeah, it'll be fun. Anytime it's Eagles Cowboys, it's fun. The Eagles' third Thanksgiving game in Dallas. They've also played in Detroit. They played the Steelers twice in the 30s and 40s on Thanksgiving. Played Detroit twice in 68 and 15. That game they got killed. But you're the only game going on at that point. And
have you seen the full Thanksgiving slate? It's unbelievable.
I haven't.
Yeah, let me pull it up. It's so good. As soon as I pull it up here. Here we go. So it's Packers, Lions.
Okay.
Chiefs. Oh, this is 2025. Holy cow. Here it is. Packers, Rams is Thanksgiving Eve. Then Bears, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs.
Wow. Bills, Chiefs.
I mean, what an incredible 2 days of football.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Thanksgiving Eve game? We've got a Wednesday on the schedule.
I mean, there's going to be a game every day pretty soon. There's just going to be there's going to be an NFL game.
We're not that far
every
from
day.
that.
I don't really like it, but I'll watch it.
I know. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, we all might be like, but Packers, Rams, we're all watching that game.
Absolutely. Eagles are 1-7 in their last 8 games in North Texas.
It's been a tough place.
They
for
lost 4 of those games by 20 or more points. So, yeah, it's been a tough place for them. They played them well here, but not down there.
them. And this is like a relatively small window in which they'll play the Cowboys twice.
Yeah, that's true. Week 7 and week 12.
Twice in 6 weeks.
Twice in 4 games.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right? No, 5 games.
5 games.
Yeah, couldn't be 4 games in 6 weeks unless they had 2 buys. But yeah, I mean, Eagles, Cowboys, national game. It'll be. By the way, I should have mentioned when we talked about the bye week. That is my birthday. That Monday would be my birthday, so
Okay.
I'll be able to celebrate without
nice.
having to work.
I'm glad we went back to that.
Yeah, just so people can plan when to get me presents.
Okay, there you go.
Meaning you.
That's week 12.
Alex.
Week 13, this is tough travel, even though it's like not, it's pretty soon after the bye, but travel to Dallas for that Thanksgiving game. Then the next week, week 13, travel to Arizona, 4:05 kickoff on Fox. Not a very good team, maybe one of the worst teams in the league, but still like significant travel back and forth across the country.
Yeah, those are both long flights, and yeah, tough. It's tough. That's tough doing that back to back. We've done that. So, and we didn't have to play games. So, yeah, it's not easy. Cardinals, yeah, they're not a good team, but that's a dangerous game. That's a scary game coming off Dallas.
3-14 last year. Gannon out.
Really? Gannon's gone?
He is gone.
Where's he now?
Mike LaFleur in. Gannon is the DC in Green Bay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a scary game. I don't know why that game just scares me. They're going to be better.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, right now their quarterback is Jacoby Brissett.
One of Nick's favorites.
He is one of Nick's favorites. I think this is not going to be a very good team this year.
Yeah, you're probably right, but they might be better than last.
You know who their left guard is?
I don't.
Isaac Seumalo.
Oh, did he sign down there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he did make a Pro Bowl, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's enough on Arizona, but we haven't been talking about some of the travel stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas.
We got away from that for East Rutherford. I didn't get to talk about the Hamilton
I think
Bird
that's
duel.
okay.
I want to talk about the duel.
Okay, go ahead.
There was no, I'm not going to. It'll all be on our website tomorrow.
We have a full travel guide.
Travel tips.
Arizona, I think you went with Sedona?
I went with Sedona. Have you been there? You've probably been to Sedona.
I have, yeah.
So the Grand Canyon is the place to go, but it's kind of far. It's about 4 hours from Phoenix. If you have the time, if you're out there, you go out early, it's definitely worth it. It's unbelievably great. You just you see pictures, you see videos, until your eyes see that canyon and just the light changing. You get there at dawn or sundown. So, I mean, your brain just can't comprehend what you're seeing. It's definitely worth going. But Sedona's about half the distance, about 2 hours from Phoenix. Red Rock country, a lot of really cool rock and mountain formations. It's a very cool little town, very new agey. A lot of pyramid power. They believe in pyramid power out there. There's power in the pyramid. A lot of cool little shops and spas and stuff. It's a cool town, cool place to visit. They have tours. You can get on an open air van and get a tour of Sedona. Highly recommended. Really cool place.
Yeah, I love Arizona. There's so much around there. I was just in Tucson not long ago. Did some time in the southeast Arizona, but right near Phoenix, if you don't want to go far, Lost Dutchman State Park, the Superstition Mountains, beautiful.
Have you been to that Tonto State Park?
Yeah.
Northeast, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been to pretty much all the state parks right around there.
I did some hiking there a couple of years ago. Last time I was there.
There's one comment we will stay away from, and we will go to week 14 at home against the Indianapolis Colts, 1 p.m. game on Fox.
It's hilarious. Where are we here?
1 p.m. game, Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, yeah.
Look, the Colts, the record wasn't great last year, but they were on a roll. I mean, when Daniel Jones was healthy, that was a different team. And I don't know if I think there's some real danger in just kind of making him your guy long term. But look, he played really well last year, and Shane Steichen got an awful lot out of him.
Yeah, he did, and I'm a big believer in Shane Steichen, but is he going to play that well again?
I don't know.
Ever in the rest of his life? Was that a mirage? Not a mirage, but is it sustainable? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I don't think anyone really knows, but man, they were on a roll last year. What was their record before his injury? At one point last season,
7-2.
They were 8-2 going into the bye, and then they lost out.
So 7-2, and they finished 7-9-1. So 0-7-1 in the last, right?
No, they were 8-9 last year.
Oh, my bad. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I still have I have them on the wrong line.
Mm-hmm.
8-9. So they won one of their last, whatever it was.
Yeah,
I forget. I got confused there.
That's okay. It happens.
Yeah, they're a team. I really don't know what to expect because I don't know what to expect from their quarterback. I just don't know.
I think that's fair.
I just don't know who he is, but he was really, really good till he got hurt.
All right, let's get to.
They still have the kid they drafted a couple years ago. Is he still there? Anthony Richardson.
Oh yeah, I believe so.
Is he the backup? Right?
Yeah. For now.
Yeah. Okay.
Week 15. This is a good one. At home against the Seattle Seahawks. This is a Saturday game, 5 p.m. on Fox. That's going to be a good one, Rube. That is, obviously whenever you play the reigning Super Bowl champ, it's going to be fun. But the Seattle's a team that's also given them some fits.
Oh yeah, I mean, they've lost 8 straight to the Seahawks. The last time they beat him, their quarterback was Seneca Wallace. They've lost 7 straight at home to the Seahawks by an average of 17 points. Now, when there's a 38-0 and a 42-0, that's going to skew the average. But the last time they beat the Seahawks in Philly was in 1989. Mike Quick had a big game. Clyde Simmons had 2 sacks. Randall was the quarterback. So that was 37 years ago, last time they beat the Seahawks in Philly.
Wow. And look, they lost some good players from last year's championship team, but they're still really good. I think that roster's still really good.
It's just a team the Eagles have always had trouble with. Even like that one year that they lost twice by the same score. So that was a 17-9.
Yeah.
That was the that playoff game was rough to watch.
And this is another team that, like we talked about the Rams, this is another team that is very balanced in terms of offense and defense. They seem to have good players on both sides of the ball. And you look around the league, that's not true for every team. There are some teams that are really heavy offense, really heavy defense. The Eagles are a team that I think is balanced. I think the Rams are balanced. I think the Seahawks are balanced.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they're very good. And you said you think the Rams are the best team on their schedule.
I do.
I'd probably go Seahawks.
Okay.
But they're both formidable.
I get that. I think right now the Rams, I'm projecting them to win that division. But, it could go either way.
Okay.
And it's a tough division. The Eagles face 3 really tough teams from it this year. All right, week 16. This is Thursday Night Football on Christmas Eve against the Houston Texans. A good defense coming to Philly.
Yeah, run by Matt Burke, former Eagles assistant coach, and he's got Bill Davis, Bill Lazor, Corey Unlin, and Dino Vasso on his staff. So,
and obviously D'Amico, the mastermind of that defense.
Yeah, D'Amico, who played here for 4 years, I
think.
Yeah, they're that defense is. I'm not sure about that offense, but that defense is one of the best in the league.
They won 12 games last year. I think the big question for them is what is CJ Stroud at this point in his career, because he had such a good rookie season, and then it started to unravel. And it's funny because Gerard Johnson's now on the Eagles staff. When things are going well for CJ Stroud, Gerard Johnson was like, the hottest coaching candidate around, and then his star faded once Stroud started to fade.
Yeah, Stroud's got talent. I just don't know if we'll ever see him play consistent over a long stretch of time. Eagles have never lost to the Texans. They're 6-0 all time.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Anything else for that one?
No.
Let's move on. Week 17, going to San Francisco.
This is exciting because you've never been to this stadium.
I've never been to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara against the 49ers. 8:20 p.m. game, Sunday Night Football. By this point in the season, how many 49ers are on IR? Like half the roster?
That's been their recent history. But it hasn't mattered. At least it didn't matter last year.
That's true.
They had half a team, and they still came into the link and beat the Eagles. What an inexcusable loss that was. Eagles were favored by a touchdown, and they were up by a touchdown going into the fourth quarter, and they blew it.
It was a bad loss.
I think it's just one of the worst postseason losses the Eagles have ever had.
What do you think of the 49ers this year?
Well, I think they're really good. And I think they're one of those teams that's good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, 12 wins last year. They had a chance in that final regular season game to potentially get that 1 seed, and they screwed it up. But, I think they're a good team.
Yeah. What do you think of their quarterback?
Yeah, I don't love Brock Purdy. I think he's solid. I think you're higher on Purdy than I am.
Possibly. I just wonder if he'll ever be as good as he was when he was really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I look, and I think the Kyle Shanahan stuff goes overboard sometimes with the praise he gets, but he's made it so that quarterback functions really well in it, and you give him a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Still a good team. They're going to be a tough matchup, even in week 17. And then week 18, finishing off the season, going up to Meadowlands for either a Saturday or a Sunday game. We'll see how that one goes against the Giants. This has become relatively often they finish the season with the Giants.
7 of the last 15 years they finished the season with the Giants. Eagles 2-4 in their last 6 in East Rutherford against the Giants. So we'll see what kind of Giants team this is this year, how much better they're going to be under Harbs. Generally, the Eagles' last game of the season, you see the backups. You think that'll be the case this year? Will they be locked into a playoff position?
It's tough to say because it might not be that, they might have a wild card locked up and not a. Yeah, I think they'll have something to play for in week 18.
I hope so because I hate watching those meaningless games. They throw off all my stats. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah, of course. What's your gut feeling there? Something to play for in week 18?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because that's just been their recent history. That last game just rarely.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll prioritize just rest. Even if there is something maybe to play for. Yeah, they won't do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the schedule. We should mention preseason schedule. Baltimore on the road week 1, Patriots on the road week 2, getting a joint practice with the Patriots up there in Foxborough, and then at home against the Bengals in week 3.
And it's what, Saturday, Friday?
Yeah, Saturday, Friday. Yeah.
I like all my preseason games on Thursdays.
I do too. I don't love the Saturdays.
No, I don't like this schedule. I don't like the preseason schedule.
We asked the NFL to redo it.
I'm going to do that.
Well, don't the teams kind of just put together their preseason schedules?
I'm sorry, what is that?
Don't the teams just put together their preseason?
I think the league does one and the teams do the rest. Okay. I believe is how it works. I think they split them. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the schedule. How many wins you got?
I think they're going to be an 11 or 12 win team, if not more. But I'd say 12. I'll go 12 right now.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling 12. Is that enough to win the division?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, easy win the division.
Yeah.
Cowboys are what, a 10-win team?
10-win team, and then maybe an 11-win team, and then a 0-win team in the postseason.
I kind of agree with this comment. Let's cut the preseason down. Everyone is doing joint practices anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what's up, Braden.
Yeah, I like that.
I think the coaches and the teams get more out of joint practices than the preseason games.
Yeah. And yeah, there is a joint practice with the Pats up there, so that'll be a little bit of a circus, I'm sure.
Watch out, Curtis Marsh. Tom Brady's coming after you.
Anything else on the schedule before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think it's very fair to the Eagles with all the games against teams coming off byes, but they've dealt with those things in the past, and I expect them to deal with it this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast, please do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, click the like button and subscribe there as well. And if you have a question for us, it's eagleeye@nbcuni.com. You can send the question that way. Reuben, anything else? Any final words?
Somebody wants to know what the chances are you're going to get hit by lightning twice.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not too.
All right. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye, presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.